The courage to change. That's what we're talking about today. And all the little technical snafus that we had at the beginning, they're all part of the new world that we have moved into this year. The energy is so precise, so pristine, and so immediately responsive. So what does that mean for us in science of mind? Like attracts like, the law of attraction. Be aware of what you're thinking and your emotions. We have upped the ante considerably. As I said in my write-up for Sunday, for today, rarely are we ever motivated to change unless it's mandated by outside circumstances. Think about it. Money is good, life is good, you're warm and cozy, no reason to change. That's where the universe comes in and wakes us up. We've all had a few wake-up calls lately, I think. I hope to encourage all of us today to begin thinking of change as a great opportunity and a chance to move beyond any limiting circumstances. It's time to reach for some greater heights. Since joining Religious Science of Nashville in the mid-90s, I've witnessed this community go through one challenge after another, and yet each time we got better, we got stronger, and we became more resilient than ever before. And it will only continue. I promise you that. We have a room full of intelligent, inquisitive, curious, hardworking people who want to make their lives better and also the lives of their family and their community. Is that not right? Yeah. The thing about mustering the courage to change is that sometimes we need a good shove from the universe, since we're all so fond of our current status. On the morning of Sunday, January 25th, I was rudely awakened by the sound of a huge tree outside my bedroom window crashing through the power lines. I heard the snap, I heard the crash. It was 6:27. I got up and looked out the window. I thought, okay, I'm warm and cozy. I'm going back to bed. And I'll rethink this when I wake up. So when I did wake up, this is the first message that I found on my fully charged cell phone from my across the street family, the Moreland Jones clan. The house is warm, the coffee's hot. Let us know when you want to load up and we'll come and get you. Think about everything in that statement. It wasn't, gosh, is your house freezing? Do you need some hot coffee? It was just, let us know. The house is warm and the coffee's hot. So, anybody who knows me knows I am really stubborn, and I'm really set in my ways. And what happened for the next 8 days, I stayed with my friends Kelly and Brian, and then I stayed with my friend Avalee. It was like a traveling circus. I have pictures. And it wasn't just me, it was a frisky dog. So it was like loading all this up, a moving circus. But what it gave me the opportunity to do was really watch my discomfort. Now think about this. I'm in the middle of great gratitude. I have a warm bed. I have a safe place to be, warm meals, hot coffee, and I'm being a grump. I didn't stay there long, but it was fun to watch. It was like, I missed my stuff. I missed my way of doing things. I missed my house. Fortunately, I was across the street watching all the trees fall and not hit my house. And every day I'd go home with Brady for about 30 minutes, wrapped up, gloves and scarf. It was 36 degrees inside. I watched all my plants die. And my poor dog would run around from room to room and come back and go, it's all still here. but I had a safe haven to go back to each time. Taught me a great deal. Of course, I had books with me. This says so much. And I was reading Thomas Troward. Who reads Troward? Unless you're taking a course. Thank you, Dale. I got a witness. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. So this is what Thomas Troward says. My mind is a center of divine operation. The divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before. Something entirely new, not included in past experiences, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence. By an orderly sequence of growth, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. What a brilliant brain. Think about my reading this, sitting in a wonderful little bedroom, bemoaning what I'm missing across the street. This really woke me right up. Something beyond what has gone before, not included in past experiences, but proceeding out of it an orderly sequence. So much for my getting my own way. Wasn't going to be happening. Right in the middle of a gigantic Mother Nature wake-up call. That's what I was going through for those 8 days. I'm sure many of you had similar experiences. I'm so grateful that I had people who loved me and just kept saying, come on, it's okay. We all need that. We have a community here of people who will support us that way. I'm confident of that. Change is scary. It's uncertain. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to wake us up, especially when it's not a change that we have initiated. Yet throughout history, we have countless examples of courage in action. I don't know if you're old enough to remember this, but surely you've read about it. Think back to December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, when a seamstress on her way home from work decided not to give up her middle seat on the bus to a white patron. Imagine what went through Rosa Parks' mind in that moment, defying the mandated law of segregation in the capital of Alabama. Possible jail time. She could lose her job. She could be ostracized for the rest of her life. But that didn't happen. What did happen, she held her ground. She became a household name and a forerunner in the segregation movement. One split-second decision it took to make a courageous choice. Time stood still. The United States experienced an orderly sequence of growth. An orderly sequence of growth, making a gigantic move to new and better conditions for so many of us. Another person of immense courage who just knew that in this one divine moment, enough is enough. Thank you. In that same year, in another part of the world, in our country, the junior senator from Massachusetts was writing a book inspired by 8 senators that he found compelling. The name of the book is Profiles in Courage, examining the theme of the political courage through the biographies of 8 upstanding men of integrity who had served in the U.S. Senate across a very broad swath of time. They demonstrated bravery, they demonstrated integrity in the face of extreme political opposition. The future president, John F. Kennedy, won a Pulitzer Prize for that book, and it still serves today as a very much needed call to action, especially now. Americans need to, I believe, come together and have a wake-up call that moves us back to integrity for ourselves as humans, as individuals, integrity for our family, our community, our houses of worship, and for the greater good. JFK was a rich, white man from an influential family, but he still dug deep to find his courage and to speak the truth. A more recent example of courage, which I found astonishing. I'm one of these I believe if the Olympics are on and we're in it, I should watch it. Right? I missed it. I didn't have power for, January 25th to February 10th. So I was watching it on other people's TVs. But this more recent example of courage took place on the world stage on February 13th at the Olympics in Italy as a 22-year-old skating sensation from Virginia took to the ice for what everyone assumed would be an absolute gold medal performance. But what happened? The quad god, Ilya Malinin, fell not once, but twice on the ice, just moments into his program, shocking himself and the rest of the world. There were no words. His performance that night dropped him from number 1 to number 12 and completely out of medal contention. So here he is, the quad god, commercials everywhere, the pressure on a 22-year-old. And yet what happened next, immediately after the scores were posted, he stood up and he walked into the press room and he spoke intelligently and kindly to every single reporter, asking him, what happened? What went wrong? So here you are, 22, you studied your whole life for this one performance. But what he did, he didn't blame anybody. He didn't blame the ice. He didn't blame it on other competitors. He didn't blame it on the time of day. He just said, I blew it. And the more these people questioned him, the more he just said, I blew it. It's on me. So what can we learn from a 22-year-old sensational skating star about humility and about really taking full responsibility? Accountability is a part of courage. We'll see him again. I know firsthand many of us in this community are courageous examples of how to get past terrible things. Heartbreak, illness, death of a spouse, death of a partner, heartbreaking things. And yet here we are, in the middle of our friends and colleagues. We move past trauma. We find the ability to move past what seems like insurmountable obstacles when we dig really deep. And everyone here, it's one of the things about being a part of this community. You chose to be here. I don't know that, is anybody here part of a legacy of Science of Mind family members? Were your mom and dad in Science of Mind? No, they weren't. I can guarantee it. We all came out of more structured religious backgrounds, and we decided we would have the courage to go a different route. And here we are. So we can get past anything. I want you to know that. And I can see by certain people's faces out there, you know what I'm talking about. Raymond Charles Barker has written a lot, and I love his book, Treat Yourself to Life. It really helps remind me when I pick that up that we are capable of overcoming any negative belief, any trauma, any obstacle, and just simply erasing what has been as we decide to move into a better future. It's the decision that counts to move forward. We are all so much braver than we ever give ourselves credit for. Don't ignore that. Don't ignore that. You know who I'm talking to here. Look at these brilliant people. I know so many of your stories. And yet here you are, looking good, showing up on a Sunday morning, despite anything. And that's the thing. A couple of years ago, short again. I know, right? I was facing a daunting surgery. And because I believe that divine order always prevails, that doesn't just mean when I'm in a good place or the lights are on, but divine order is always working in our behalf. So I had this surgery coming up, and I had to go to the Green Hills Mall, and I walked in, and there was an art show. And I'm like, oh, okay. So look at what I found. My courage is stronger than my fear. It was the first piece of art that was displayed, and I'm like, okay, so I came to the Green Hills Mall on the right day. You know, you can't think that God is only working on a sunny, bright Sunday. You've got to believe that that divine order is always in motion. And when we listen and don't go, oh, no, I don't want to do that today. When we really listen to the prompts, we're always in the right place at the right time. I know from this community that I'm so happy to be a part of, we've gone through so many changes. Some of them planned, some of them a little unexpected. Our founding minister, Reverend Mitch Johnson, retired, and he is here today, so please give that esteemed gentleman hiding in the back. He retired, and we hired a new minister, and we had the highest of hopes, only to realize it wasn't a good fit. Okay? We took our best shot. We did the right thing. From that moment of disappointment, we faced many new challenges. That's fine. That's part of life. When we face those challenges, beloved colleagues, beloved friends got really disappointed. Some people got their feelings really hurt. But we faced it. We kept going. We kept going. As a community, we moved forward. We dusted ourselves off, and we kept going. That's the key ingredient. Flying solo without a minister for much longer than anybody had anticipated. We still thrived, didn't we? Think about it. The leadership in this community is astonishing. Astonishing. Are we going to have arguments? Of course we are. We are a large extended family. That doesn't mean that when you argue with somebody, you don't love them and you don't hold them in high esteem. It means you're trying to find a common ground. And that's what we did. So here we are, maybe a little battered and bruised, hurt and disillusioned, and yet, as a community, we moved forward, we rallied, and now, at this point in time, after 18 months of the Reverend Cath DePalma patiently figuring out who are these wild folks? Who are these band of rebels that are all trying to do good work in the world? What happened in the course of that 18 months, we know we're only these bundles of electromagnetic energy, right? In those 18 months of nurturing and calmly moving forward with an excellent board, by the way, we were able to refine the electromagnetic message we were sending out into the world so that we could attract the exact right next minister. That's how it works. You can't be a crab and be so annoyed with life and thinking you got shortchanged or blah, 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 and then expect good stuff to come to you. That's the law of attraction, right? So when I'm, you can be scared, you can be nervous, you can be, a little shaky in your boots. But what is your core strength? Who are you at the center of your being? And that's what you project. So as a community, that is the message, the tractor beam of light and energy that we projected out into the entire CSL community. And we found the right guy. We found the right fit. So our job, I believe, as a community, is to work together. There are going to be new things. There are going to be things that we're like, I don't know. But can't we give everybody a chance? Can't we give everyone an opportunity to come together in strength and in community? Because our journey is one of courage, and we are courageous people. I mentioned a little bit earlier about what a auspicious time we're living in right now. I don't need to go into all the astrological implications. You can look at my Instagram for that. One Heart Ministry Light, a little ad. We are living in a cycle of time that has not been experienced in over 6,000 years. All of the outer planets that govern structure, like government, church, religious enterprises as a whole, are going to shift. Those outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, have been residing in water and earth signs, which are feminine. Kind of go along, we'll figure it out. By April 25th of this year, all of those outer planets will be in fire and air. Boom. The very second you think it, it'll happen. Do you think you need to up the ante? Okay. It's going to really make us mindful that we cannot afford the luxury of a negative emotion, a negative thought. And if you're dealing with something awful, get help. Get help. Find a really good practitioner. We've got great practitioners here. Find a good therapist. Get on good medicine. Don't project your fear, your sadness, your hopelessness, your resentment out into the world, because it will eat you alive this year. People die every day. People we adore with every fiber of our being. It is one of those things that happens. You're born into this life. That's the exit plan. That's the exit plan. It's heartbreaking, but it is part of your life cycle. Notice it, deal with it, get grief therapy, do whatever you can, but keep moving in the right direction. That's really the message for today. Courage is always there for us, but we have to be willing to look in the mirror and to know, wow, I didn't handle that real well. That wasn't my best day. Who do I want to be now? As Alan was doing with the breathing, inhale. Inhale the breath of life and exhale whatever remnants of pain, fear, sadness, heartbreak are residing in you. And they might be there for your whole life. I know I've lost countless people, but I keep them tucked away in my heart. They're always there. They had another job to do. And I'm here, and so are you. And that's what we're going to focus on. From my favorite poet, I don't know if you know John O'Donohue. a brilliant Irish poet, and one of his poems for courage, and this is a portion of it. When the light around you lessens and your thoughts darken until your body feels fear turn cold as stone, steady yourself and see that it is your own thinking that darkens your world. Search and you will find a diamond thought of light. Let us all together steady ourselves, welcoming in that diamond thought of light together. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And now I believe I am going to be doing a spiritual mind treatment. That is the agenda, right? It changes, you just roll with it. Okay. Everybody get nice and cozy. Begin to do that lovely deep breathing. I will be saying this in the first person, so please claim it for yourself. There is only one source, one infinite presence, one divine life that I am an undeniable part of with my entire being. This has always been true. This infinite, generous source sustains me in all that I do, expressing through me, encouraging me to move forward courageously, reminding me of my innate oneness with all that is. I do belong. This infinite divine source expresses divine intelligence within me, in all of my thoughts, emotions, and in all that I do. I trust that I am divinely guided by this undeniable source in all things and at all times. Even in moments of perceived tension or fear, I trust this divine presence to move through me courageously, removing doubts and anything that might feel heavy, allowing me to carry forward only what is sacred and just for me now. I give deep thanks for the life I am leading now and for the unending love, support, and encouragement I receive every moment from the one infinite presence that sustains us all. I now joyfully release this word into the law of mind in action with complete trust that the courage which sustains universes moves through me now and always, guiding my path. It is my birthright, and I accept it now fully and completely. And together, let us say, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, thank you very much. May your life be filled with joy and prosperity in every way. Learn more about our programs or contact one of our practitioners at our website, CSLNashville.org. You may also want to follow us on Facebook at CSLNASH. You can make a big difference with your financial gift at lovecsln.com. Please share the link to this program with a friend and join us again next Sunday. Have a wonderful week.